Hello, today we are discussing signal vector representation. The topics to be discussed are digital communication system model, channel characteristics, additive white Gaussian noise, geometric representation of signals, synthesizer and analyzer, signal vector, signal space, signal vector in Euclidean space. The model of digital communication system can be depicted as the block diagram shown here, where the message source is the initial block. It is responsible to interface a transducer so that physical parametric variation could be collected and equivalent electrical signal may be formed. After that, it may be digitized by sampling, quantization, and encoding process so that the equivalent representation of symbols may be produced, which is m suffix I. So these message symbols may be comprised of one bit or multiple bits. The duration of each of these symbol here assumed capital T, and the a priori probabilities for each of these symbol are P1, P2 up to P suffix m. Now, if we consider that all these message symbols are of equiprobable, then the probability of each of these symbol will be 1 by m. After the generation of the symbol, they are fed to the transmitter. The transmitter is responsible for digital modulation technique, which is producing an equivalent signal S suffix I t, which is a time domain representation of the signal. So this modulated signal is fed to the channel, where channel is look like a media through which the signal will be propagated to the distant receiver. Now this channel may be wired channel or wireless channel. For the wired channel, the digitized signal, that means symbols which are modulated, are propagating, need not have to bother about the antenna, but through wire media it will be transmitted. But when it is a wireless channel, then a proper antenna design for the transmitting antenna and receiving antenna is required. The characteristics of the channel is to introduce noise, which is unwanted signal generated by the elements present in the channel, such as the industry, which have multiple type of switching, may produce erroneous signal, and such signal may be added to the transmitted signal, so that the signal transmitted will be corrupted due to this addition. So therefore, the received signal at the receiver may be written as xt, which is the original modulated signal added with additive white Gaussian noise, and thereafter it is fed to the receiver. So this receiver has the responsibility to reduce the noise and estimate the original message symbol from the proper recovery circuit. So initially, when this type of signal is received, they are filtered so that the part of the noise which is outside the bandwidth of the received signal may be directly eliminated. Afterwards, there are some noises which are residing inside the modulated signal within the spectrum, required spectrum. They can be eliminated by proper prediction of the symbol which was transmitted from the transmitter. So such system incorporates demodulator circuit and a decision making device circuit. So demodulator circuit produces the signal which is almost equivalent to the message signal prior to the modulation technique. Now this type of signal is further fed to the decision device, which is comparing with the threshold value or a limiting value, so that the proper magnitude of a symbol can be predicted. So if this symbol is matching with the transmitted symbol, we can clearly say that this symbol is nothing but the regeneration of the original symbol. So here m cap represents the estimate of a particular symbol mi. The channel characteristics here we have assumed two number of characteristics. First, we have considered the linear characteristics of the channel. That means the variation of the channel due to parameters which may influence the channel is linear. So with respect to frequency, there might have a linear response of the channel. For contaminating the signal is also, we are considering linear changes. The channel noise is also called white additive Gaussian noise. Now why it is white? Because it is comprising of all the frequency components, though in practice all the frequency components must not have equal magnitude of noise to contaminate the transmitted symbol. But here, for simplicity, we have considered the equal amount of noise magnitude of all frequency may contaminate the transmitted signal. So that is why we have considered the noise is of white in nature, because white comprises all the frequency components. And why it is Gaussian? Because Gaussian, we already have seen the distribution function, that means the probability density function. The Gaussian shape is equally balanced from the negative and positive side of frequency. That is why if we consider the noise is of white in nature, then it will be more like to the practical situations of the noise. Here we can assume certain mean value, but if the mean value is considered 0, that means the y-axis will be the center position of equal distribution of noise on both sides of the frequency. The threshold value is normally required in the probability density function, which makes the boundary of the decision of error symbol or correct symbol. So therefore, probability of error calculation is one of the important requirement for digital communication system design, which is given in the noise characteristics. The nature of the noise is considered additive white Gaussian noise, because additive white Gaussian noise gives us the power spectral density, which is almost constant over the frequency range, negative as well as positive, and the probability density function is symmetric with reference to the origin. We are also considering the zero mean white Gaussian noise, because the peak value of the probability density function will reside on the y-axis, and gradually it is diminishing on left hand side and right hand side. So here xt is equal to SIT plus WT shows the random process which is received as xt. So xt is the random process referring to the received signal, which is the summation of the signal, that means a record signal, that means the modulated signal SIT, and the random process of white Gaussian noise is WT. Now here one of the important calculation is known as the probability of symbol error calculation, PE equal to summation of I equal to 1 to capital M, PI, which is the probability for a particular message, MI, into the probability of the estimation of the message when the transmitted symbol is not the received symbol. So such quantity, if we take the algebraic sum, it will give the probability of error. The overall block diagram for the channel is depicted as a ADAS circuit, which is taking the transmitted signal as one input, another input is white Gaussian noise. So therefore the output will be the received signal xt. So SIT plus WT is equal to xt. So this model of the channel is known as the additive noise. There are other type of noise which are known as inter-symbol interference, which is solely responsible for the symbol which are colliding with each other. That means the adjacent symbol, if colliding or contributing the voltage to the other symbol, then that type of noise is known as inter-symbol interference. which gives us false prediction of a particular symbol as the symbol is already contributed voltage from its adjacent symbol. The geometric representation of symbol, that means signals are referred to each of the symbol. So therefore, geometric representation of signals related to those symbols are one of the important required mathematics that gives us the idea of the vector position of those symbols when it is received. Because on reception, the same geometric representation can be made, but they might be contaminated with noise. So therefore, a noise cloud region may be properly marked if the geometric representation of signal is clear before the design of the digital communication system. So here we are considering the basis function phi j t and the coefficients Sij. So if we take the product and sum up j equal to 1 to capital N for the symbol duration capital T, we are representing this mathematics as the signal for ith symbol. Therefore, the coefficients can be found out from this mathematics if we take the product SIT and phi j t integrated over the symbol duration 0 to capital T. So I equal to 1 to m is the number of symbol and j equal to 1 to n is the number of basis function. So basis function is nothing but equivalent to the carrier signal that we have considered in case of modulation process. So here we have considered n dimensional basis functions. Now the basis function is called orthonormal basis function. So why it is called orthonormal basis function? Because orthonormal basis functions are having two properties. One is the orthogonal property, another is the normalized property. The orthogonal property states that if we take the product of two basis function and it is integrated over the time duration 0 to capital T, the integration will return a numerical 0 quantity. Similarly, if we take the same function twice, that means if we take the square of the basis function to be integrated for the symbol duration, that value should return unity, which is telling that the basis function is normalized to 1. So these both requirements are essential as well as necessary for the representation of signals related to symbol mathematically, which is called the geometric representation of signals. So therefore it is clear that the basis function should have orthogonal property as well as normalized property. That is why they are known as orthonormal basis function. Now these are the mathematical model of the transmitter and receiver for the digital communication system. The transmitter is having n-dimensional coefficients Si1 to Sin. Each of these coefficients are multiplied with the basis function. That means Si1 is multiplied by phi1, Si2 is multiplied by phi2. In this way, n-dimensional basis functions are multiplied to the coefficients so that the algebraic sum of those product will produce a time domain signal which is representing a particular symbol. Now these signals which are representing the symbol, if transmitted, then at the receiver they are fed to n number of channel to n number of multipliers, where these multipliers are having another input as the basis function. That means Si should be multiplied by phi1 to produce the output fed to the integrator and produce a particular coefficient Si1. So therefore the signal, that means Si, can be re-established at the receiver by the matrix contribution of the coefficients Si1 to Sin. Now this multiplier followed by integrator in the receiving circuit, which is known as analyzer circuit, is known as correlator. So correlators are the essential model for receiving symbols at the receiver end. So here it is very much clear that each signal SIT are completely determined by the vector of its coefficients. That means SI1, SI2, all these coefficients are resembling a symbol which is related to particular symbol. That means I equal to 1 to m, where m is the number of symbol. So therefore, for a particular related symbol, we are finding it's a contribution from all the coefficient. The signal space is nothing but the mathematical space in which the geometrical representation of signal is possible to plot. The signal vector in Euclidean space is the actual mathematical space in which we are finding the signals to be plotted, where all these coefficients are contributing for the construction of the signal vector. So therefore, Euclidean distance is one of the important parameter to represent the signals. So square of the SI is nothing but the normalized power, which is the product of the SI and its transpose, can be written as the algebraic sum of the square of the coefficients. The signal energy representation in terms of vector shown here for three number of signal vectors S1, S2 and S3. So therefore axes are two dimensional, that means phi1 and phi2. So capital N is equal to 2 as there are two number of basis function is taken for this graphical plot. The energy for ith symbol is given by the integration from 0 to symbol duration for the square of the signals related to a particular symbol. So EI is equal to 0 to capital T. If I substitute the square of SI as the product of two algebraic summations, that means one is Sij multiplied by phi j t, another is Sik multiplied by phi kt. Therefore, if we simplify, the two number of summations can be taken outside, and if we take the integration for the product of the two number of basis function, then the property comes out, orthogonality and normalized property. So as j is not equal to k, therefore the product phi j and phi k, if integrated over 0 to capital T, they should not have any correlation. That is why this product should be equal to 0 until and unless j equal to k. So for j equal to k, we are getting Sij and Sik both are same. Therefore, it is nothing but the normalized energy Sij square j equal to 1 to n shows Si square. The Euclidean distance, which is taken for ith and kth symbol, that is Si minus Sk whole square, is given by the algebraic sum of the square of Sij minus Sk. So it is nothing but the square of the difference signal Si minus Sk whole square. If it is integrated for the symbol duration, we are getting the Euclidean distance. Therefore, the cosine of the angle is equal to the inner product of these two vectors divided by the product of the individual norms.